Hello, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Free League's latest Mutant Year Zero D6 based game, which has a rather long name of the Walking Dead universe role-playing game, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. So what we've got here are some dice, a Game Master screen, the core book with a little poster, and of course the starter set there in the background, which is what I'm going to be spending most of this video talking about. Now this poster is, I believe, the cover of the official core rules, but I don't have the official core rules. I have the limited edition version, which has this lovely red cover, hardback. Not much on the back, but this cover here has got "Don't Open, Dead Inside" on it, and it's a rather nice presentation of the full set of rules. But as I said, we're going to be spending most of our time looking at this starter set, which is a great little product. So inside of it we've got a load of stuff. So a 40-page rule book, a little adventure, 16 pages, some pre-gen characters including people from the TV show, a load of maps, some dice, and of course a little threat meter, which is quite a nice little way of tracking the danger level of the walkers in this game. Now this is obviously a post-apocalyptic zombie horror game, and it's actually, I think, a really good version of the Mutant Year Zero game engine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously break open this box and show you what's inside and talk about the game a little bit. But yeah, the core rules are great, but you know, if you like the AMC Walking Dead universe, you're going to love this. Although, to be honest, I think this game lends itself really well to any game that's sort of post-apocalyptic, and for me, I actually prefer the implementation of Mutant Year Zero in this rule set versus, for example, Twilight 2000. So let's get cracking with this unboxing and show you what's inside. So inside the box we've got black and red dice, so your regular dice, and the red dice are your stress. We've got the threat meter here, which just falls out, as you can see. We've got a games catalogue, which you know, whoopee, some silica gel, and then a whole load of sheets. So these are actually the pre-gens at the top, and then underneath you've got the maps and the character sheets. So here are the pre-gens again, and I think there's 6 of them if I remember correctly. You've then got a load of other generated characters from the TV show, so Carol here for example. We've then got some overland maps, and then some sort of generic city / encounter maps, which are mostly meant to be used with this, the Wolves' Den, which is a survival mode scenario, which is sort of a quick fire one-shot sort of adventure, and then of course the rules themselves. Some great stuff here, so index, glossary, whatever. You've got the intro, which talks about game modes and the contents, what's a role-playing game, what's the Game Master do. So that's pretty good for people who are not really into RPGs. We've then got a whole load of stuff about the setting, and then we get a bit about what makes a character. Now, this doesn't really tell you what your characters actually are, but you've got your attributes and your skills, and you add those together to determine how many D6 you've got. Talents will give you +2. And then you've got issues, drives, and anchors, which are sort of very reminiscent of Alien. They're the sort of role-playing hooks that make your character be difficult or have problems and can give you stress. Health is very simply you're unharmed, bruised, battered, or broken. As you get stress, you can become shattered and overwhelmed, which is bad. By the way, 5 stress is something you don't want at any point in this game. We then got how to use your skills, and you know what happens if you mess up, and how do stress dice work, how do you gain them, and obviously messing up tends to be if you roll a 1 on your stress dice. We got a bit about opposed rolls and bonuses from gear and talents and percentile chances of rolling. You know, so talks here about 60-odd% if you're rolling 6 dice. Yeah, I tend not to find that, and that's my one criticism of Mutant Year Zero, that trying to roll a 6 is pretty tough even with a mountain of dice. But you know, it sort of fits the genre. So we've got a whole load of skills described here. So if I remember correctly, there's roughly 3 skills per stat. We then get into the combat, which is sort of split into 3. So you've got duels, which is one-on-one combat, brawls, which is mass combat, or more accurately, you know, one versus many or many versus many. Talks about damage and healing and armor, and yeah, getting wounded in this game could be pretty savage. So we've got a whole load of injuries you can pick up here, which are pretty nasty. Other hazards, including getting hungry and tired. So a little bit of Alien, a little bit of Mutant Year Zero, a little bit of Respin, a little bit of Forbidden Lands, and a little bit of Twilight 2000 all mixed in here. We've then got the third sort of combat, which is fighting the dead, which, depending on the threat level, your zombie horde will get bigger or smaller. They get closer to you. So talking here about, 10, 50, 100, 1,000 zombies potentially. And the threat level is, are they aware of you? Which about level 3, they become aware of you. And then as you get down to the bottom, they're right up in your face. And yeah, you're in a world of pain. So basically, depending on the threat level, will depend on how effective the zombies are at attacking you. And you could get what's known as a walker attack. And basically, you actively roll to avoid the zombies attacking you. And normally you're going to succeed at that. But if you fail, that's when they actually get up in your face and do stuff. And the person running the game can, make the swarm bigger, more of a threat, or literally actually bite you. And when they bite you, that's when bad things can happen, and you're going to roll on the big D66 table. Now, you can obviously fight them off, but once the threat level gets too high, they're just automatically going to roll on this big table over here, which varies from you escape, but you get a bit stressed, maybe you hurt yourself, maybe they bite you, but you can deal with that as long as you're prepared to cut off your hand, for example. And then if you're really unlucky, you might roll a 66, for example, where basically you get overwhelmed, torn to shreds, and you're dead. So that's a little bit save versus die, maybe there. But, you have to fail quite badly to become overwhelmed. It's a nice little bit about running the game, and that's pretty much all it wrote. So little mention about NPCs and an index. Short, sweet, 40 pages, pretty much everything you need to know how to play the basic game, including a little adventure, which, as I say, is good rather than amazing. It does the job, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this game goes down with a play group. I think if you just want to dabble with the game and you're a bit of a Mutant Year Zero fan, this is a good starting spot, but you could probably go straight to the core rules. For me, I think The Walking Dead is going to usurp a lot of other games for me. So Twilight 2000, Vaesen, and maybe Forbidden Lands, I might not be so interested in them. Alien, the original Mutant Year Zero, and this are the versions of the MY0 game engine that I'm really interested in, and I've got all sorts of ideas of hacking this game into other settings, with the walker mechanic being the most difficult bit to port between different settings. But I actually think this is a really lovely streamlined version of the rules, and it fits into the Walking Dead universe pretty well. But if you're not a fan of the Walking Dead universe, I don't think that's a huge issue. But it definitely is a game sort of designed around an external threat that occasionally comes and will bite you. So yeah, I think this is definitely one to play and try out and potentially get in on. Now, I believe as of Monday this week, it's now available to the general public. My copy literally arrived a couple of hours ago. The dice look great. I believe the 6s are sort of targets, and then 1s can be hands on the red dice. But yeah, with all the stuff you've got, this is a great little starter set, and I'm hoping to crack open the core rules, have a bit more of a read of those, because what this rule set doesn't have is character generation and haven generation, which is a really nice feature where you have a base of operation, and also you can create havens for other factions in the game, and that's all in the core rules, not these rules here. But yeah, brilliant graphic design, nice clear text, nicely explained set of rules. It looks fairly simple to run apart from combat. Combat looks a little bit fiddly. That's going to take me a little bit more time to get my head round, but yeah, really good interpretation of the setting and the rules. Comes with 2 big thumbs up from me. So that will do for this very quick look. So until the next video, happy gaming.